Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to break down what's going on with the Nidecker Rift Pro boot. That's right, we're going to go through this so you can learn kind of what's to be expected on the shell, the liner, the footbed, everything in between. And no, this is not a boot review. With the shell of the Rift Pro, you get a lot of TPU on the toe through the side here. This helps reduce breakdown and unwanted flex points, most notably the one here on the side where you crank your toe strap down to. This is going to be a little bit more rigid. You shouldn't feel pressure if you really over crank your toe strap there. What you're also going to notice is that this comes all the way back, and this will actually affect the ankle articulation in there. And while this isn't a super stiff boot, it does have some rigidity to it, and this will break in over time. You're going to develop that flex point right in there. And remember, a boot is never going to be as stiff as the day you try it on. So the more that you flex into this, the more it's going to break down, the more give that this is going to have over time. With the tongue of this, it is a fabric in there, so there is going to be a little bit more give. Not a whole crazy amount, but this isn't an overly stiff boot. It's kind of just that middle of the road workhorse that can do anything. Around the lacing option, you have a double stitch seam and it's recessed in. So if you're resting your edge on this, it's going to take more effort to really hack this up. Now on the back spine of this boot, you got a multi-piece design. So you got this lower TPU down here and then this upper, right? This is going to just change the rebound of how this reacts when you're driving back into it. It's going to be a little more reactive at the lower and a little less at the middle. You also have neoprene on this area right here. So for those of you with bigger calves, this may pull back a little bit, giving you just a little bit more support and comfort up at the top of the boot. With the sole of this boot, you got a full rubber tread with impact points on there that will help dampen. That's what that red in there is. With the tread, you got a good pattern that will grip, but overall, the tread of this, while it does have some give, is still fairly rigid. This will help dissipate that kinetic energy underfoot. From the side profile here, you actually are sitting a little bit higher. You've got thicker foam in there. That's going to help dampen kinetic vibrations, and you're going to notice that it does dissipate those pieces of chatter that cause foot fatigue later in the day. This is a dual boa boot, meaning the upper is for the top of the boot and the side is for the lower. It does have the nylon boa cable in there, and you do not have any crisscross eyelets down the center of this. That may help some of you that have instep pressure or can feel that when you crank your heel strap over be reduced. It also allows for a little bit of customization. You can crank that lower tighter or looser. Same thing with the upper, depending on how you want it. One of the cool features about this is it has asymmetrical lacing, meaning that it's not fully symmetrical. It's going to pull more towards the outside of the boot. And this just kind of works with the natural flexion of how we drive into our snowboard boots and stuff. So if you figure that this is the front foot and you're here, yeah, you're going to put a little more pressure on the outside. So by having this set up to be asymmetrical, it kind of compensates for how a boot will break down. With the internal harness, it is sewn into the shell, so that way when you tighten it down, it really encapsulates around that liner, pulling it in. It doesn't come up as high as some other ones in the Nidecker line, but it does go in almost to the bottom, so this will allow for a better fit and a more snug heel lockdown. You also do have that drawstring on there. Hey, we're about halfway through this video. Why don't you go down, give it a thumbs up. And while you're down there, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the programming we've got coming out for you. The Rift Pro comes with Nidecker's silver heat moldable liner, so that is an Intuition foam. You will be able to heat mold that if you're looking to get a little extra room or expedite the break-in process. Now, it is a dual density foam design. You're going to notice that you've got different malleability in the foam based on the colors in there. So it will break down a little bit. And the big thing is you've got these big seams right here. So people with a more sensitive foot could feel this. One thing that I do like is you got this elastic here that helps pull this over the instep. Now, if you have instep pressure, this may be an issue. But for those of you that are looking for a more snug fit, this is nice. You also have this external butterfly wrap to help with heel hold down there. This just gives a more rigid padding in there. And so when you tighten down that internal harness, that will lock you in. When we go to open this liner, you do have Velcro on each side. So that way you can overlap it and get it to lock you down. You got different materials in here to help slide your foot in. Now, the J-bars start off less pronounced and become more pronounced as you go in. This has more of like a slight U shape to the heel versus a deep V. So if you have a little bit of a wider heel, this is something to consider with it. With the footbed, there is literally nothing special here. I mean, this provides next to no arch support. I would strongly consider an aftermarket one that matches your arch height and length and will give you more support. If you ride 5 days a year or less, this will probably be fine for you. While this does have a lot of seams, and I'm not a fan of that, I do think that this is a well-built liner. It does have intuition foam. You will be able to heat mold it. It's designed to have flex points. That's partially why those seams are there, and that kind of matches up to what's going on with the shell of this boot. This wasn't an afterthought liner, which is nice. They did really make it work with the tech that they have available. Their design aspects, Maurizio knocked it out of the park, I think, with this. If you're looking for something that's got like more of a tighter fit in the heel, this is definitely something to consider. All right, we're gonna do some measurements now. This is a US 10 or 28 Mondo point, measuring this from the start to the finish. It comes in just under 12 inches long. Measuring this at the widest portion of the forefoot, starting on the 1 inch mark, it comes to 5 1/4 inches, so that's 4 1/4 inches wide. The back of the boot with the liner in, that's just under 12 inches. At the front, we're looking at just under 11 1/2. At the back of the boot, it comes up to just shy of 12 inches at the front. We're looking at about 11 1/2. Measuring the forefoot at the widest section on the liner, at the 1 inch mark, it goes to just a hair past the 5 inch mark, which means it's just over 4 inches wide. Like what we're doing over here? Want to support us further? Swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. I think Nidecker's come a long way with their boot division. They've really invested in it, seen all the TPU, the use of different materials, certain kind of configurations in this. It's a good boot. Is it a good boot for you? I don't know, because the best boot is the one that fits your foot and fits your needs. I know you guys have heard me say that over and over again, but it's true. I do think that this is well built. I do think there are people that are going to want something that's a little tighter in the heel, a little wider in the forefoot. This is solid. I do believe that the foam is different though with this liner compared to others. Intuition's just feeling it, playing around with it. Seems to be a little bit more dense, a little bit harder, and a little thinner. It's not as thick, which means it's probably not going to be able to heat mold out as much as other boots out there, but there's nothing wrong with that. All right, hopefully we broke down the Rift Pro for you from Nidecker. Learned a little bit of something about it. If you didn't, well, there's no hope for you. And if you don't feel like this is the boot for you, go watch one of our other boot breakdowns. And if you're not in the mood for boots, go watch one of our other videos. We've got so much programming for you.